I'm Tanya Fox, and you're listening to Fox Talks Business Podcast. I started my career in the corporate world, but always played to my own tune and loved to think outside of the box. This didn't always serve me well with the bosses, so I made the decision to become an entrepreneur. And that little seed of entrepreneurial curiosity continued to grow as I branched out into retail, service, and franchise businesses. Now, I have been fortunate to have amazing successes in the last 2 decades, but they did not come without some really big failures and even bigger lessons learned. And that's why I started this podcast, not just to share the failures, but to show you how you can turn every failure into a success. We're going to hear from some amazing humans from around the world that are going to share their stories of the good, the bad, and the motivational entrepreneurial life has to offer. After all, life is too short to make all of the mistakes yourself, so why not learn from each other? And of course, we're going to have some fun, because as I always say, well, you know what? I'll tell you that at the end of the episode. All right, Foxy listeners, buckle up, grab a pen. This is going to be an episode I know you guys are going to love and want to listen to again. I'm very excited to have my guest, Tracy, today, who is going to be talking to us about some things that I think you guys have been, well, I don't think, I know you guys have been asking a lot about these questions, and I told you I would find you an answer. And Tracy, that is why you're here, to give us the answers to some questions.
No pressure.
So before we sort of dive into, understanding visibility and how to sort of do that, give us a little bit of background on you.
Yeah. So thanks for having me, by the way. I love when I can be on a podcast and share some knowledge and some value. And I want to give a shout out to my Facebook group members, the Be a Confident Entrepreneur group. They are amazing. They love to listen to the podcast that I'm on. So I wanted to say hey to them. So I'm Tracy Beavers. I'm a business and sales coach from Little Rock, Arkansas. That's if you can detect a little bit of a Southern accent, that's why. So several years ago, my background comes from corporate. Maybe much like your listeners, I had an over 25-year award-winning sales career in corporate, and I actually never thought that I would leave. If you had said to me, Tracy, eventually you're going to be an entrepreneur, I would have said, heck no. My dad worked for himself. He did not make it look fun at all. And I was like, no, I'm going to be in corporate for the rest of my
No,
life.
thank you. Right.
No, thank you. And I knew being in a corporate job, you don't have any control over your time because you get the 1 hour lunch, the PTO, all the things. But I thought because I was always in sales, business development, marketing, and I had a commission structure to my pay, that I would have control over my pay. Basically, you eat what you kill, right? Make as
Right.
much money as you want. Well, no, not when you work for a CEO that wants to monkey around with the commission structure. Every single time I started to gain traction on it, and the other people in the sales department did too. And I finally was like, you know what? I knew I didn't have any control over my time, but apparently I don't have any control over my money. And I just got really sick of it. It started, like I describe it as, it started to feel like a jacket that was 2 sizes too small.
Mhm.
I just couldn't move and it didn't feel right anymore. And then I was like, well, okay, great. If that's not what you're going to do, what the heck are you going to do? Because, I was going to be in corporate for the rest of my life. And so some very good friends that I was in a women's mastermind, and we were doing a lot of reflection on how we wanted our lives to go. And I was like, they were like, you need to be a coach. You're excellent in sales. It's easy for you. I'm like, isn't it easy for everybody? They're like, no. And I was like, okay. And so I just decided to take my gifts and talents and started locally with my network of business owners that knew me from all the years that I had worked in corporate. And I helped them build their businesses, gain market share, all the things. Then I discovered the online space, and here I am. And now I coach online entrepreneurs, so coaches, course creators, and consultants to get massively visible online where they have people saying, Tanya, I see you everywhere. But you're not everywhere. You're not on there 24/7. It just looks like you are. And then all that visibility leads directly to your email list.
Right. And I love this because, well, there's a couple of things that I love about this. I love that the fact that one of the things I always say to people is the thing that you find the absolute easiest thing to do,
Hmm.
and that you are like, I can't charge for this. It's like, it doesn't, takes me zero pain, is your superpower. It took me too
Hmm.
long to recognize that. So I love that you also were like, doesn't everybody know how to do, like, this isn't
I know.
hard, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Right.
I know that there's a lot of, I do that too. And people are like, how do you just come up with ideas? And I'm like, I don't know.
I
Like,
don't.
I just say shit. I don't have to
Yeah.
implement anything. It's really easy when you're not implementing stuff to come up with ideas.
Yeah.
But
That's
right,
funny.
it's the thing that we kind of like, sort of take that for granted, because I think especially in today's, where we are today, for a
Hmm.
lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of people who are in my audience who are in a little bit of a older demographic,
Hmm.
like myself, kind of go, this is like a whole different thing. Like, I started my first
Hmm.
business in 98, and it was like newspapers were like the place to be. Like, that was like,
Yeah.
you tried to get in there, and now people are like, what's that?
Right.
A what? And I'm like, yeah. And then,
Like the
like,
yellow pages. Remember the
right,
yellow
like, I
pages?
look through, like, yeah, I remember putting an ad out in and trying to, like, get a good spot, and
Right.
like figuring that stuff out. And then, oh,
Yeah.
like, one time I had a billboard, right? And it was like, I was so excited about that. And it's like, it's just like those ideas
Oh,
that,
that's so funny.
seem like so obsolete now, which
Yeah.
in a way, like, when I look back and I kind of go, I can only imagine what the price would be now for those kinds of things.
Hmm.
But we do have a greater opportunity and an easier opportunity, a more affordable opportunity as well, to
Yes.
get out
Yes.
there. But I
Hmm.
think what happens, and where a lot of people are feeling frustration, is that although there is this, they don't really know, how do I actually go about gaining that visibility?
Yeah.
How, because they're doing, like you said, they want to kind of be everywhere, because it's very hard to figure out exactly where everybody is, absorbing.
Right.
But right now they're stuck in, I'm everywhere because I am everywhere. I am
Right.
spending so many hours a day trying to be on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, and TikTok, and
Right.
dance and take pictures of food and be normal and be human and show my dog and show that I work hard and B-roll, and oh my God,
Right.
like, right? I didn't realize I was going to supposed to have an acting career along with this. So help
Exactly.
us
Oh my
out.
gosh. Yeah, for sure. Well, the one thing I will say is whoever's listening, like nobody's listening, everybody's listening. For those of you that are listening, let me start over. Um, Pick one platform and go all in on it. Get it converting, get your visibility there before you try to navigate another platform. Don't be like me. When I first started out, I was building this business alongside my corporate career because I could not just quit an over 6 figure a year salary. My
Right.
husband would have
And
thought I'd
hope.
lost my mind. Yeah. And go, I'm going to go make no money, honey. How does that sound good? And he'd be like, oh my God,
I'm
what
gonna
has
go
happened to
from
you?
+6 to like
Right.
-4, 5.
To like negative nothing for a long time. So pick one platform because if you try to go to all the platforms, you are going to feel overwhelmed. You are literally putting yourself everywhere all the time, and that's not good. So Facebook is my jam. It's the platform that I teach because it is still the number one platform. As opinionated as people are about Facebook, they
I
either
still like it.
yeah, I do too. And you know why? Because it is a way for me to easily catch up with my college friends, my family, stay in touch with them. But it is also a massive marketing tool for free for my business.
Hmm.
And you better believe I'm going to use it to grow my business and make money and reach more people. Absolutely. So I chose Facebook. And so you want to have a Facebook personal profile and make sure that's dialed in for visibility and list growth. Your Facebook business page, you still need to have one, even though it doesn't do a whole lot for you in terms of reach. It's still a really great piece of social proof and credibility as a business owner. I love a free Facebook group for visibility and for sales conversions because almost every business, it makes sense to have a free Facebook group. And my free Facebook group has over probably 3,300 online entrepreneurs in it. They are my ideal clients. They are literally swimming in my content and in my community all the time. And the reason why they love being there is because I let people promote themselves anytime. They're encouraged to network and set coffee chats, things that other Facebook groups don't allow them to do. So, but if you can set up a free Facebook group, that's an easy yes for your ideal client to join you. Thereby, you're gaining visibility, you're staying highly visible with that person, and you're giving them curated content that deepens that know, like, and trust factor where they're going to convert into a buyer a lot faster. Um, so those are just some of the nooks and crannies on Facebook. The other thing that people overlook about Facebook is being in other people's Facebook groups, even the ones that
Right.
don't allow promotion. And the reason why I teach for us to maximize our Facebook personal profile is because when we go into these other people's Facebook groups, even the ones that don't allow promotion, and I am in there interacting as myself, and I'm commenting, I'm even if it's just, hey, that you said you're going to launch, go friend, get it, cheering for you or something like that. Or you ask a question about how to set up membership entry questions for your Facebook group that leads to list growth. And I know the answer and I answer you. I'm not promoting anything. I'm simply interacting as a nice person, helping you, but I'm highly visible doing it. And when you get curious about me, which you will, you'll click on my Facebook personal profile and you'll go there. And because of the strategy I teach for maxing it out, we turn it into a list growth funnel for you. So just by being present, and it doesn't take all day, a few minutes a day, being in a Facebook group where your ideal clients are or your collaboration partners are, and getting that visibility and letting your personal profile do the talking for you, that is how just being visible will grow your email list that way.
So I think there's some people too that are like, oh, hang on a minute though. Because I think that I've heard this a lot too, or because people will go, but it's my personal, like it's personal,
Yep.
right? So,
Mm-hmm.
right, because there's content I share or things that I like that are inappropriate or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
in this case, it's okay to have like a private one and another one that you're using that is
Mm-hmm.
strictly for business, that you're not necessarily putting your all of your family vacations and all of that kind of stuff. Because I think people get a little bit confused with that and go, do I have to use my personal one that I'm sharing family stuff,
Yeah.
and that's how people connect with me? I don't necessarily
Mm-hmm.
want to show my kids' first steps. Like that's just for my family or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, you totally can. Years ago, I think a year and a half ago, Facebook decided to allow us to have more than one personal profile. So before that, my answer would have been, we only get one Facebook personal profile. If you're a legit business owner and you're serious about your business, you'll, I mean, tough love, you'll get over it and
Yeah.
use your personal profile for business. But now, because Facebook does allow us to have more than one personal profile, I don't think that's a bad idea. If somebody truly wants to have a personal profile that's secret's not the right word, but truly private,
Hmm.
where if a stranger sends them a friend request, they're not going to accept it and they can curate the content there and control the narrative. Absolutely. But you do have to have, if you go into Facebook groups, you don't want to use that personal profile then. That personal profile, we'll just call it that. The
Right.
super, the super secret
The
personal
family
personal
profile. We'll call it the family profile.
family profile. Yeah. You don't want to use that one because that one's not going to be dialed in to tell everybody who you are, who you serve, how you serve them.
Right.
The links for the whole menu of you. I want you to have everything on there. Your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your Pinterest, your TikTok if you have it, your YouTube, your website, your free Facebook group, your podcast, every single link that you've got where somebody can connect with you and check you out needs to be on that profile. And then your cover photo is where the list growth happens. We want to showcase something that leads to your email list. A lot of my students, they have a really great free lead magnet, and we will create a cover photo that showcases that, where when you get curious about that person, click on their personal profile, you go there and you're like, you see it on the cover photo and you go, oh my God, I have to have that. That's the answer I've been looking for. You slide right down their email list and you haven't even had to have a conversation with them.
Right.
That's the beauty of it. So I have hundreds of people joining my free group every single month because at the time of this recording, my cover photo showcases my free Facebook group. And people want to join it for the reasons that I've listed. I teach list growth. A lot of my online entrepreneurs are looking for list growth and visibility without paid ads.
Right. And I think that's a lot of people are like, okay, like I get this and I don't mind, having this personal profile and
Mhm.
all of that other stuff, but I still struggle with getting people there. And we've been
Mhm.
hearing that from our audience, a lot of going like, I'm already connected to the people I'm connected with. And
Mhm.
most of them I'm already working with kind of thing, which is great.
Mhm.
But
Yep.
how do I get new blood?
Yeah.
How do I get those fresh chickens in?
Yeah. You go find some Facebook groups to be in. Yep. Absolutely. Pick 2 or 3 Facebook groups where your ideal clients are hanging out, new ones. And, the first couple you find may not be a good fit. It's kind of like trying on clothes. You got to kind of take a whole bunch of things in the dressing room and try them on to see what fits. It's the same thing with Facebook groups. But we do need to get you some new audiences. And Facebook groups are a great way to do that. Also, things like what we're doing right now. I teach how to be a podcast guest, how to find great shows to be on, how to pitch the host. This is great visibility. And it's visibility to an audience that I would not have reached. Plus, you've given me the floor basically to come in and talk to your audience. And that gives me instant credibility with the people that are listening. So, being a guest on a podcast, collaborating, going live with each other on Facebook or even Instagram or LinkedIn, that's great visibility. Again, you get growth through somebody else's audience.
Yeah. And I think that's great because I think it also sort of keeps your mind open to going, who do you already have that you
Mhm.
potentially work with that you could sort of go, hey, like
Mhm.
let's team up together. Let's do stuff. Because I think we
Exactly.
don't necessarily think of that because, we have a friend that they also have a podcast too. And
Hmm.
I just had this conversation last week that I was like, we started our podcast at the same time. We've never guested on each other's, and we're very
Uh-huh.
similar. Like, what was that all about, right? We've
Right.
rectified it now, but
Right.
it's just one of those things that until you're actually strategically sitting down, maybe
Yeah.
it's just not something that is like coming through on your radar that you're like, oh,
Exactly.
I didn't think of asking for that.
Exactly. We don't think of asking for that. We don't think of our friends who have free Facebook groups that allow guest experts to come in. My members, they get to go live. We have 2 spotlights every month. The member can sign up for it, go live in my group, teach something. That's excellent visibility to a new audience. The other thing we don't think about is lead magnet swaps. So I could freebie swaps, is what a lot of people call them. So you could give me one of your freebies this month, and I could email it to my list. I could even post about it on social media. Hey, my friend has this awesome thing to XYZ. It's going to change your life. And here, go ahead and click. And then you could do the same thing for me.
I love this idea because I think, for those people too that are sitting there going, I'm trying to be everywhere and I'm trying to be different. This is a
Hmm.
way to sort of grow contact without having to do the work because you're like, give me some stuff. I'm going to share it with my audience. So I look like a superhero because I'm like, look at
Yeah,
this beautiful, wonderful thing, which I
yeah,
did not have to create.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, and and that's a win for me because I give you the free awesome thing and I didn't have to do anything but create the free awesome thing. And now you're going to promote me to your audience. It's amazing.
Right. So when people, let's talk about Facebook because I know you had said that was sort of like your area of expertise, and I love Facebook. I don't care what anybody says, and I don't care if it ages me, because
Right.
I find that on that I have the best conversations,
Me too. I do
and I
too.
think for me I have the most. I'm trying to figure out how to say this with like out insulting other platforms, but
Oh,
I just don't know if it
just
could be
say it.
done.
Just say it.
I think it's like the most authentic conversations.
Yes, I agree.
Right? Like that I hear less time like I'm a six-figure earner, da 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 da, and here's how I can help you. I'm sold to less also, I find
Yes, me too.
on that, right? Where somebody is not like, oh, hey, I listened, like I just got this message just before we came on here of somebody saying, oh, I listened to this particular show and that I really liked this out of it. And I was
Uh,
like, oh, that's interesting. And I want to tell you how you can get more leads. And I was like, oh, for frick's sakes,
oh,
like if you
I
just would have
know.
taken a breath, you could have totally sucked me in. Like,
Yeah,
and I would have all been about hearing about it, maybe in 2 or 3 conversations. But to me, that's the
right.
equivalent of being like somebody saying, "Oh, I like your shirt. Want to hop into bed?" Right?
Exactly.
And I'm like,
Exact.
slow your roll a little bit there.
Exactly right. You cannot sit down next to me at the bar and go, "Hey, you're cute. Marry me."
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, "Oh my God, weirdo." No. Yeah, it hurt. It really, especially in the DMs. So it's one thing. I get a lot of spam in my email inbox. People that want to change my YouTube channel. People that want to
Oh, that's a
criticize
fun
this
one,
or
right?
that.
When they
I'm.
circle stuff on your
Oh my
page
God.
and
I'm like,
send it to
don't.
you.
It's like don't. You might as well circle my cellulite and send it to me.
Right.
I'm
Like
serious.
I feel like it's really insult because I'm like,
It's
there
so
are some times where
rude.
I'm like, I worked really hard on that video, you jackass.
I know. I
So
don't
I
point
look
out everything I'm doing wrong and then want me to hire you. Who
Yeah.
is teaching this?
Let me
I'm
show
like,
you how crappy you are. Here, crappy here, crappy here, crappy here. And I'm like,
big circles.
I did not ask for a personal trainer. Thank you very
Nope,
much.
did not. Thank you. Don't even know who you are. Don't make me call your mother. That's what I want to say to
Yeah.
her. Did your mother teach you this? No, really, I don't know who's teaching this horrible outreach, but it needs to stop. And then in the DMs, Facebook is I have more authentic. I teach authentic conversations in the DMs as a strategy, as a visibility strategy, and I have more actual, genuine conversations on Facebook. Now it's starting to turn a little bit on LinkedIn just because of some of the networking I've been doing and some of the high caliber of women that I've actually been able to meet that are on LinkedIn that I am connected to now, and we've had good conversations. But that was after I met them in a networking breakout session.
Right.
Most of the people that DM me on LinkedIn, I just cringe because the minute I accept their request, it's bing in my inbox and it's, hey, I can save you. I can get you 10 to 15 leads a week and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, could you just ask me
Yeah.
how the weather is first?
I'm
You know?
fine. Thank you.
Right.
I
I'm fine.
like
Hey, my name's
sunsets
Tracy.
and pina coladas.
Right.
What's my middle name? That's what
You get it.
I saw a lady that says, unless you know my middle name, don't sell to me.
Oh, that's funny.
We don't know each other well enough for you to start selling
Exactly.
me stuff. And I was like, yeah.
Exactly. I know. Yeah, and no, I totally agree with you. And I was having this conversation with my students this morning because I do teach DM conversations in my program, and one of the guys was like, "Okay," he goes, "I'm just going to be straight up honest. I feel like I don't know what to say," and I'm like, "I totally get it." And so what I shared with them was the best way to have a conversation in the DMs is to pretend that you are sitting across from that person at a coffee shop or at the chamber lunch or the Rotary community event, whatever it is, you are in front of that person. Don't say anything you would not say to that person in person.
Right.
Like I had a gal DM me and she's like, "So, how's your 2025 going? What's on your heart these days?" And I'm like, if you walked up to me at a Starbucks and said that, I would look at you and go, "What do you mean what's on my heart these days?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's weird. But what happens is
Did you
our
think about
brain,
me last night?
right?
It
Yeah.
seems so personal.
Right. I was weird. Don't ask me what's on my heart. I don't know you. Weird. But what happens to our brains, I think, is this. We get into the online space and our brain goes, hold on, this is different. So the words must be different.
Right.
When they're not, the conversation is the same, whether you have it in person in the coffee shop or in the DMs. Same conversation, different location. The location has changed. And so the key to having those is just to be a kind human being. Be like, hey, you and I are in the same in this same Facebook group. I hope it's okay to send you this friend request. I love to make great connections. What about you? I
Right.
mean, that's honest. And then use some emojis. Write like you talk. Use some emojis. I use a lot of dots, for pausing or whatever, to try to really convey the message where it sounds like I'm talking to them. You know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
I've got some humor in it and some warmth and stuff like that. Because I want them to feel that when they read it.
Well, and I think that's true because usually when you're sitting around a table, you wait for somebody to say something that you can sort of connect with or
Yeah.
something that you can question them on or, that you can go, oh, like you had said before that like you went out and you were like walking the dog, like what kind of dog do you have, right? You
Yeah,
wouldn't
exactly.
just be like, I'll watch your dog next Saturday. And they're like,
Right.
we just met.
Okay,
Okay.
but that could totally be me because I'm a major dog lover. I'd be like, "Do you need a
Me.
dog sitter? Do you need a
It's
babysitter?"
funny? Me too. We were out at a store and there was two dogs there and I was like, "Oh my God, I want to love on those dogs." And I couldn't
Uh-huh.
I was like, "No, just leave it because like you'll be like super creepy." And then I
Yeah,
couldn't help it. I saw them four times in the store. They kept coming down the same aisle as me. And finally I was like, "Can I love on your dog?"
yeah,
And the
that's a
woman
sign.
was like, yes, you can. And I was like, that I was all, it was a golden retriever, right? And the
Oh my
dog was like,
gosh.
it was just like, I'll love you all over the place. She's like, I'm so sorry he's licking you. I'm like, I'm in heaven. I'm in
Yeah.
absolute heaven right
Like, no,
now.
it's fine. And you're rolling around on the floor with the dog and
Right.
there's nothing
But
weird
I
about
mean,
it at
it
all.
was,
No, totally. Of
it turned into like a genuine conversation. Of course, I asked her,
course.
about her and all of that kind of other stuff, and it led into a longer thing. But I think
Yeah.
there's even oftentimes where I forget that I could have that same conversation online of
Yeah.
going, "Oh, I saw a picture that is this your dog that was in the
Right.
photo? Like I'm an absolute dog lover." Blah. It never
Yeah.
thinks of me of converting that
Mhm.
conversation
Yeah.
online.
Yeah,
Although I
for
should,
sure.
because lots of people put pictures of their dogs, and I'm like, I need more of that animal,
Yeah.
please.
hmm I know. No, I'm the same way. My kids roll their eyes at me. We traveled in Europe last year, and every dog didn't matter if the dog spoke English or not. I was like, "Hi, baby." In Paris, I was like, "Oh, bonjour, cher. Bonjour, bonjour, cher." They were like, "Oh my God, she's crazy." But I can't not walk past a dog and not say hello. Can't do
Oh, I
it.
know. I'm the same
Can't.
way. Or I give like a little squish. I know the dog
Yeah.
knows because I'm like,
No,
oh, I
yeah.
want to squish. Okay, like I just
Yeah.
like creepy stalker lady.
Right. But if you saw that dog four times in the store, that's a sign.
I thought it was a sign. Like, and there was two of them too. Like there was like
Oh,
it was like a mom and daughter that were like walking around with their dogs,
mm-mm,
and I was like, oh,
that's a
I'm
sign.
like, I just
Yeah.
can't. I went, but it was so funny because the mom's like, I was wondering if like not that we were following you, but we just kept seeing you, and every time she's like, your face
Uh,
just lit up, and I was like, there's nothing that makes me happier than a happy dog,
oh,
right?
I
And
know.
golden retriever, she's like, this one's super super smart. This one's dumb as a post. Just so stupid. No
Poor
sooner does
dumb.
she say that, does the dog
So
turn
funny.
around and walk right into like a display unit, like
Oh
head
no,
first.
he did.
She's like, see, dumb as a post.
Bless its heart. Poor
Right? And I was just like, I
baby.
just love this thing. I just got to tell you. So, anyways,
I'll take the dumb one. I
I'll
like the
take
dumb
the
one.
dumb one. Yeah. But I think it's, a good sign, and I love that advice because I think sometimes, it's so easy to have that conversation
Hmm
when you're out in public because
Yeah,
you get
totally.
these scenarios
Yeah.
where it gives you an opportunity to spark up a conversation and you never kind of know where that
Yeah.
is going to lead, right?
Uh-huh.
And because it's so visually appealing on social media, that it gives you sort of a good opportunity to maybe look through and see, is there something that they're either posting or a photo or
hmm
something that I can connect with? Because I know for myself too, I will connect far more to
hmm
that than I will, like you said, just hey. Sometimes that's all I get is hey. And I'm like, delete. Like, just forget it. Like, I know it's just like a stock thing or whatever. But
Oh,
those moments where
yeah.
people take a second to find something to
Yeah.
connect me with Wee Myth, that's maybe not necessarily the very last thing that I posted
Right.
or copy and pasted of exactly what I said.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it just depends on the person. Sometimes people are a little awkward about it, but they mean well.
So for you, like you were talking about your group that you had when
hmm
somebody is kind of starting this
hmm
and going about doing this, like is there a certain, and I know this like varies from person to person and what they do, but what is a good amount of time to kind of go, this is what you should kind of be blocking off to start creating and going out and networking among these other groups?
Yeah. Are you talking about the time it takes navigating Facebook groups?
Just like for people going out, like is there
hmm
sort of like a good time to say, okay, like spend 10 minutes a
Yeah.
day, or do
Yep.
like even to just get started, here's an idea of something that you can, carve out
Yeah.
to work on this specifically.
Yeah, so you want to search for Facebook groups where your ideal clients are going to be hanging out. So I want you to think about who they are, what are they into, where are they likely to be found. For example, if your ideal clients are moms, they're don't discount local moms groups to you. Like here in Little Rock, we have Little Rock Power Moms, we
Hmm.
have Little Rock Power Women. So search for your local area with the words of the people that you're seeking, and then check out the group. Make sure it's not. Um, you don't want to be in a group that has 50,000 people in it. Nobody's going to be talking to anybody or paying any attention to anybody. But you also don't really want to be in a group that's got like 25 people in it. So you
Right.
kind of have to look at the number. And then on the list of groups, Facebook will tell you about how many posts are done per day. You want a group that's kind of engaged, where people are at least posting a couple of times a day. And then go into the group, check out the rules, get the lay of the land, kind of like, if you went into a cocktail party, you'd kind of get the lay of the land, right? You might see somebody, you might not. You might go get a drink first, hang out at the bar, kind of watch what's happening. And then make sure you follow the rules. If they allow promotion, plan to promote on that day in whatever form they say you can do it. And then see where you can be of service. And this really only takes a few minutes a day. So if you pick 2 to 3 groups, and let's say you are building alongside your corporate job like I was. and you know that you don't have time to do this every single morning, but you could do it Monday, Monday morning, Wednesday morning, Friday morning, or Saturday morning, Monday morning, Friday, whatever. Set an alarm on your phone for like 10 minutes, 5 minutes per group, however much time you've got. Go into the group, look at the last few posts, see where you can be of service. Is there something you can like, heart, comment on in a genuine way? And then you're done. And then the next time you go back into the group, what you're going to find is there's probably not that many new posts since the last time you were in there. So you really only have to scroll back to where you left off, which is
Right.
probably maybe 10 posts at the most. And you're just looking for things where you can be of service, answer a question, cheer somebody on, that kind of thing. And you do this consistently enough, and then you post in the group, even groups that don't allow promotion. You could still do a post, like a post that I would do in a group that doesn't allow promotion would be, um, here's some great tips to get your Facebook group interaction revved up for 2025. Tip one, tip two, tip three. And then at the bottom, I put, what are your awesome tips to get engagement in your free Facebook group? I'm not promoting anything, but I have showcased my expertise,
Right.
but I'm technically not promoting anything. And then I'm being visible. So just a few minutes a day to answer your question.
Well, and I think that's great because I think a lot of times people, feel salesy
Mm-hmm.
and, like feel like I don't want to be going in. I don't want to be
Yeah,
like one of those people who are DMing me and
right.
constantly going in and, and just being like, oh, hey, I saw this and yeah, yuck, 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 yuck. Like, but I'll show you how to fix it and be like a lot
Right.
better, even though I don't live in your country or your
Right.
demographic or speak the same language as you or
Right.
know how to spell. Sorry, this is all the things that irritate me.
Let it all out. Just let it all out.
But I think oftentimes we don't, and I know I've been guilty of this too, is that I see that. And there's been a lot of times that, I've just left it. But there are few times that I've turned it into content has worked really well for me because I was like,
Yeah.
okay, listen, if you're really trying to get my attention, I promise you this is not the
It's
way to do it.
not the way to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've gotten a
Yeah.
lot of people that go, oh my gosh, like my DMs or my inbox is full of this stuff too. And it
Mhm.
really irritates me. And it's like started a lot of conversations. And some people
Mhm.
that I've ended up collaborating with because I was like, oh, I know, can we just have authentic, it just kind of, it's one of those things that sort of helps.
Yeah.
If you can find something that annoys somebody else, I find that that's always a way to start a conversation easily.
It'll get engagement for sure.
So, I think that there's some good tips for people on starting out and sort of creating a group, creating sort of a community and start building that. I think
Mhm.
one of the things that a lot of people sort of question is, we hear all the time about how, you don't own social media and it's kind of
Right.
rented space and all that other
Yep.
stuff. So the pull is
Exactly.
definitely towards your own email list.
Yep.
What are some tips that you have? Because I think a lot of people are like, how do I do that? Or
Mhm.
to give a really great example, we had a lady in our group who lost everything, like lost all of her stuff,
Mm,
her whole
yeah.
email list and all of that kind of other stuff, and sort of had to start from scratch. So
Wow.
how do where do you start? Because I think
Mhm.
there are a lot of people who go, I've been for her, she was like, I've been in business for a really long time and I feel so like I feel dumb that I don't have this already because I feel like I should have hundreds of thousands of
Yeah.
emails right now. And so I don't even know how to begin to do this. Um,
So yeah. So at a minimum, we need a couple of free lead magnets. Yeah. I mean, I teach 10 other strategies besides. So my list growth strategies, I don't teach paid ads, and I'm not the list growth coach that's going to tell you to create another free lead magnet and put it out on social. But when I meet somebody that doesn't have any free lead magnets at all, I'm like, we need two. We need at least two because you want to be showcasing one of those on your cover photo. You want to be putting those out on social media, using them as a call to action on a podcast or a live or a collaboration of some kind, a freebie swap like we talked about. So just at a minimum, a couple of lead magnets. And then I firmly believe because my list grows so much by this, dialing in that Facebook personal profile, even if you create a bit a one that's non-family, like we talked about, but dialing that in for list growth. Because I have a lot of people that join my free Facebook group, because they see it on my cover photo and because of
Right.
the way I have my membership entry questions set up in my group. I've written them very strategically. People want to give me their email list when they come into my group. They can't
Right.
wait to give me their email list. And so I opt them in for the thing that they wanted. And now they're on my list and they're in my group. Does
And
that
then,
help?
right, yeah, because then the communication is still there. So for
Mhm.
the lead magnet, 'cause I think this is something that,
Yeah.
people know about it. We've heard the word. Can you give us an idea of like either like one that you have? Because I think sometimes people are like, I know I have a lot of stuff, but what is a good one? I don't know what a good one is.
Yeah. So you want to create a free lead magnet based on market research for your ideal clients. We don't ever want to build anything that nobody's going to want. That's a
Right.
waste of time. And also, we need to begin with the end in mind. So when I have a student that says, "I think I need to create another lead magnet," I'm like, "Okay, wait. Cool, we can do that. What is the end game? Begin with the end in mind. What is the paid offer that you're wanting them to eventually buy? Because we
Right.
need to create something free that gets them over the gap from where they are now aware of you and opting into your free thing and moving them closer to that paid thing because they start to get to know you, like you, trust you, and they see in the free content you're the expert they've always been dreaming of. So, for example, my 8-week group coaching program, beginning with the end in mind, is my most popular paid offer. It's business visibility made easy. I teach all my 10 strategies in there for list growth and visibility. And one of the strategies I teach is one I've been mentioning today, dialing in your Facebook personal profile. I have a free lead magnet. I pulled a little bit of the what and the why out of the course about the Facebook personal profile and I delivered a live training on it because I go live every Thursday at 11:30 across my platforms. That's my regular piece of weekly content. So I talked about it. I talked about the importance of it. I talked about what you should put in the feed, what you need to put on the cover photo, da 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 da. And then I said, if you want to dive deeper into this content, go to tracybeavers.com/personal and grab the free guide, the checklist that will help you do it. Now, I didn't teach them all the full strategy. You got to buy my program to get that. The
Right.
cover photo is the key to that. But that's a great example of a free
Right. It's
lead
like the
magnet.
crumbs on the plate kind of thing. Like, I'm not gonna,
Exactly.
yeah. What you can
Exactly
teach
right.
and sort of, and I do that too. Like, what can I sort of
Mhm.
teach in a crash course that I'm like, I always go,
Mhm.
there is a DIY version to every single
Mhm.
thing I do, but it turns out like a DIY version.
Yeah.
Right? I'll give you everything that you need. Like, I'll teach you how to think outside of the box. I'll teach you how to create collaboration. Like, go be with God.
Yeah.
Like, take it all. Like, all my information is all free.
Hmm. Yep.
Because it's like a Lego kit, right? My son was just doing that yesterday. He dumped out a bunch, and I mean, he's older, but he dumped out a bunch of Legos and he goes, with instructions, this doesn't make any sense. And
Right.
as you were saying it, I was like, I have to totally use that because it's
Yeah.
so true, right?
It
It's
is.
like
Yeah.
we have all of these Lego pieces and we're just kind of being like, here, take these five. You can build a tiny
Hmm.
little cat, or
Right.
I can show you how to build a jungle
Right.
with
Exactly.
these. I love
Exactly.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. So just pull a little bit of the what and the why content out of a paid offer and create a free lead magnet.
So I know there's going to be people who are sitting here listening and going, okay, this all sounds reasonable to me. The English 100% made sense. I've got my notes written down and I still don't know what the hell to do. So if they're like, I really feel like I need somebody to walk me through this because I think
Yep.
there's a lot of people who are out there going, I think I'm doing this right, but I don't know. Right.
Yeah,
They
for
kind of
sure.
want that hand holding. Where can they go to be like, Tracy, take my hand?
Yeah, absolutely. Two great places to find me. If they love podcasts, which I'm assuming they do because they're listening to this one, I have a top ranked podcast. It's called Create Online Business Success. And I give actionable strategies and tips, also with some free lead magnets thrown in. I talk about those in there. And then my free Facebook group that I've been yammering on about for the last 45 minutes. It's called Be a Confident Entrepreneur, Get Visible, Grow Your Email List and Your Income. And come join us. It's the best party on Facebook. The members are people like you and I that are just warm, kind human beings who want to help other warm, kind human beings. And you can promote your stuff when you need to, when you want to. You're encouraged to set coffee chats and collaborate and get to know people, have those DM conversations, practice on each other. Those are two great places to connect with me and find me and ask me all the questions.
So what you were also talking about that you have a group. Is that something that you do all of the time, or is that like set dates if people are interested in that? I'm
Oh, are
assuming
you
all the
talking about
information is on your website, but
are you talking about my group coaching program?
Mhm.
Ah, sorry. Okay. So that is my 8-week group coaching program that we launch 3 times a year. I know when this recording airs, we are going to be headed into spring. And so we will be reopening the doors mid-April.
Okay.
So yes, the information for Business Visibility Made Easy is on my website, tracybeavers.com/BVME for Business Visibility Made Easy. They can check out the program. They can get on the wait list because before we open the doors to the public, we send an email to all the waitlisters with special VIP offers that they're going to want. And it's really fun. And then they can join us for the next round, which will kick off in mid-May and we'll run for
That's
eight
awesome.
weeks. Then we reopen it again in the fall.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to make sure that we do the podcast, that we do the link to the group, that we
Okay.
do the link to your website and the link to the group as
Well,
well, because I
thanks.
think this is, it's definitely an area that I think for a lot of people sounds easy. And for a lot of people,
Mhm.
like when they hear it, they're like, okay, yeah, 100% this makes
Yeah.
sense. But
Yeah.
when it comes putting pen to paper,
Yeah.
or putting the fingers to the typing, sometimes
Yeah.
that block happens. So we all
Exactly.
kind of need help. And like she
Yeah.
said, the Facebook group is free.
Yeah.
So you can kind of go in and snoop around and go, oh, this is how it's supposed to look.
Uh-huh. Yes, they can. If it's free, it's for me. Come on in.
So just before we go, I'm going to kind of put you on the spot a little
Oh boy.
bit. But
Okay.
if you had one piece of advice that
Hmm.
people need to go right now to,
Hmm.
let's say, their Facebook profile, what is the
Okay.
one thing that they should go and fix? Or
Oh,
see
just
if
one
it needs,
thing.
I'm going to say fix because I'm sure it's fixed, but fix or see if it needs to be fixed. You
Gosh,
never know. There might be one that's like, yes, totally have that done.
nailed it. Yeah, just one thing. Can I give you a couple of things?
Absolutely.
Okay. So first of all, the profile photo needs to be a picture of you, not your dog, which we love. We love the dog.
Yes.
Not your truck, not your kids, not anything. You, your face, your beautiful face, your name, your real name. Like the name, if I meet somebody out in public and I give them a name, Tracy Beavers, and they go search for me, they don't need to be looking for Tracy B, Beeves' wife, Beaver's
Right.
family, whatever. And then also the intro underneath your profile photo is it's the I help statement or the I teach statement. Real clear who you are, who you serve, how you serve them.
I
Yep.
love that. So,
Oh, in the about section, if your
yes,
about, I'm sorry, I'm getting on a soapbox now.
that's
If your
okay.
about section says no workplaces to show, oh my gosh, please fix it.
So this
Because
is I'm trying to picture it now. I should have pulled up my Facebook page before this.
it's in the about section of your personal
Okay.
profile. Because you're a legit serious CEO. And if
Right.
somebody wants to collaborate with you or hire you or refer you, and they go there and I click on the about section and it says no workplaces to show, I'm like, forget it.
Right.
What do you mean no workplaces to show? This person's supposed to have a business.
Right. I'm going to have to
Sorry.
go check out my Facebook page now.
I get a
I know
little
this, and
testy
that's
about
good.
this.
That's a good thing. I love it when I'm like, shit. Called myself out in it. But okay, so then everybody can hold all my group. They're pretty good at that. Let me tell you, my
Yeah.
listeners are pretty good of
They're
like,
all running. They're all
thought
running to
yeah,
their
they're all
personal
running
profile
and
right
going,
now.
did she fix
Mhm.
that yet? Just,
All right.
oh, I'll
Yeah.
fix it before this episode airs, I promise. But we're going to be
Okay.
checking on you too. So, and I'm really excited too because I'm going to be joining. So I would love to do, to do a little collaboration with the listeners that are out here right
Yeah.
now because I'm really excited about this. So I want you to guys to go and join Tracy's free group. And then I want you to message me on Facebook and let me know that you're in there.
Love it.
I'm gonna have a free giveaway. I've no idea what yet, but it's gonna be something
Yeah.
fun. Some
Yeah.
gifts in the mail. I've got
Love
quite a few
it.
new companies that I'm collaborating, so let's try to get more people
That's
in that group. I'll get myself in
exciting.
there first though, after I fix
Yeah.
my
I can't
Facebook
wait.
page.
I can't wait. Yeah, really. Better fix that thing. Because
You'll
if
know
I
I
go look at
listened.
it, I'm gonna be like, she needs to fix this.
You'll be able to call me out on it, not a problem.
No, I'd love to have you. I think you'd be awesome.
Well, thank you so much for all of this today. I think there's so many tangible things that people can walk away with. And that was really important to me because I think this is a topic that a lot of people, feel like they should know, but also feel like a little
Yeah.
shy about asking because
Yeah.
there's so many people that are like, I just feel like I should know this stuff, right?
Yeah.
I've been in business long enough, like shame on me kind of thing. But you don't know what you
Yeah.
don't know. And
You
I love
don't.
that you've created a group that allows for people to ask questions and to kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
go, I just don't know. I need some help. So that's
Exactly.
beautiful. Thank you for creating that space. Thank you for
Yeah.
coming on the show. We're going to make sure we
You.
have all of the links to where they can find you, your podcast, the Facebook group, all of the stuff that we talked about today. So make sure you check those out in the show notes. Tracy, thank you so much.
Thank you. This was so much fun. Thanks for having me.
Whew. Let me tell you. There were some calls out on that. I was looking at my own personal page, and let me tell you, I have some work to do. So I hope that the stuff that she was giving really encourages you to head out and just take a look. Because I think it's one thing we often don't do, right? I am so guilty of it that sometimes you forget to go, have I updated my stuff? Is everything up to date? And, I think I really loved her tip of, having some lead magnets, which I think is something that can feel like is really hard to do, but I promise you have the knowledge and you're already giving this stuff out anyway. So, find somebody who can help you to create something that looks really nice, is visually appealing to people, and somebody who can even help you with the wording so that people can understand, ooh, I really want this, or it makes it very attractive to them. You don't need to know how to do all of this. It is the reason why lots of people have jobs doing this. So feel free to lend out and ask for help. And Tracy's group is the perfect place to go, hey, can you guys take a look at this and tell me what you think? So it's a really good opportunity to kind of bounce off people, do some collaboration. And I really do think that that is, in my opinion, and you guys all know collaboration, like it's my jam. It's the thing that I believe the most in, that it's the word that makes me perk up, like a dog hearing a whistle or somebody yelling that there's a piece of cheese available. It's just that word, because I think it's so valuable. And I think especially today, more and more entrepreneurs are finding the value in working together and helping each other out. Call it what you want, call it karma, call it universe, call it getting what you deserve, whatever the case may be. We are all here to help each other because when we rise together, we rise faster. And Tracy is definitely one of those people that can help you do that. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please reach out to us. Let us know, what was it that really got you thinking? What is it that made a call to action for you? What is one thing that you were like, oh, I need to go do this? Was it the same as mine? Was it going and checking about your about page? Was it checking out your Facebook page? Or was it something else? I want to know because it helps us to, send those things out to other people and connect you. And if you need help, I encourage you to definitely check the show notes and find all of the ways that you can work with Tracy, join some of her free groups, get some of her free leads, and also join some of her upcoming masterminds that she has. If you are ready to start diving deep and taking it to the next level, Tracy is definitely one of those people who are going to help you get there. And she is just the absolute sweetest person I've ever met. I so enjoyed my time both on air and off air with her. I look forward to having her back on the show again, definitely. So, guys, you could probably repeat this a million times, and that is okay. Say it with me now. If you remember, no matter what it is that you're doing today, make sure you take time to have fun. Because as I always say, if you're not having fun, why are you doing it?